Deb here, and today we are talking about the 3 most common reasons why you are most likely obsessing about food constantly. So this video is particularly for you if food is the first thing you think about right when you wake up in the morning, or if you find yourself in the middle of conversations fantasizing about what to eat, or you just constantly are thinking about your next meal and what you can have or what you can't have. If any of that describes you, then make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to be sharing with you 3 keys to getting on your path of stopping the food obsession insanity. And if getting free from food obsession is a big desire of yours, then I want to invite you to a really fun free online training that we've done a few times before in my Facebook group with absolute rave reviews. So we are bringing it back by popular demand. It's called the End Your Food Obsession 7-day live virtual training. And in this training, I'm going to be teaching you the 7 keys to having lasting freedom from food addiction so that by the end of the training, you're going to know exactly what to do and what not to do to end your food obsession for good, to trust yourself, to make healthy choices with food, and to feel comfortable in your skin. It's all taking place in my Facebook group from January 22nd to the 29th, 2022. So if you're watching this in real time, you can actually sign up to join us for free at endyourfoodobsession.com. I will leave a link for that in the description below. And if you are watching this and it is after January 29th, 2022, no worries. I invite for you to actually click that link and join our Facebook group anyway, because I do this training a few times a year. So you will be in the right place for the next time that we do it. And I also do weekly insider discussions on the very topics that we talk about in this YouTube channel. So it's a really great place to go deeper and get more. And in case you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Debbie Lichter, food addiction expert and founder of the Freedom Embodied Academy, where I help high-achieving women get free from food addiction and food obsession so that you can feel comfortable in your skin and have the confidence to be authentically you and shine your light in the world. And everything that I share in these videos is part of what helped me get free from my food addiction and food obsession over a decade ago. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about the 3 most common reasons why we obsess about food in the first place. Okay, reason number 1, you are up in your head and disconnected from your body. So hear me out with this one and actually drop a comment below if you can relate, because what I'm about to share is a phenomenon that I have witnessed in countless people over the last decade who struggle with their relationship with food. It's something that I actually refer to as compartmentalization conflict, which is a whole topic that I go way more into in the Freedom from Food Addiction Clarity Guide. So if you want to get more on this, you can go ahead and download that. I will leave a link to that guide in the description box below. But essentially, many of us internalize at a young age this idea that the way that we are, our natural, authentic selves, just isn't enough, or it's too much, or it gets us in trouble, or it gets us hurt. And so we learn at a very early age to disconnect from that authentic way of being and instead to learn how to present ourselves in a certain way in the world in order to be approved of, in order to fit in order to receive love, and in order to avoid being hurt or rejected. And when we disconnect from our authentic selves, we also disconnect in our bodies. We start to live up in our head where we can plan and strategize about how we need to be in the world in order to be approved of, in order to fit in order to receive love, or to avoid getting hurt or being rejected. But what happens when we disconnect from our authentic selves and from our bodies is that we feel lost. We feel overwhelmed. We feel afraid or anxious or uncomfortable in our skin or full of self-doubt. And all of that creates this internal feeling of discomfort and dis-ease. And that internal discomfort and dis-ease drives us to food or to obsessing about food, because food represents that external source of ease and comfort, which is something that I go way more into in this video right here. The second most common reason why people can obsess about food constantly is because you're distracting yourself from something you don't want to deal with or feel. Now, this one can be so unconscious that we're not even really aware that we're doing it. We just all of a sudden think about getting something to eat. But when you understand the definition of food addiction and food obsession, which is to use food or food thoughts to distract or numb yourself from an underlying discomfort and dis-ease that when you try to stop doing, find that you can't, you can see that if there's something that you're wrestling with internally, like feeling disconnected and alone, or feeling guilty and ashamed, or feeling bad about something that you've done, or feeling uncomfortable because you're avoiding doing something else. You can start to see that, yes, you might go directly to food for that sense of external ease and comfort. But you might also just turn to obsessing about food, because obsessing about food is a powerful distraction pattern, because we can get so preoccupied thinking about what to eat or feeling guilty about what we ate or planning for our next meal. We can get so absorbed in it that it completely blots out everything else. Okay, the third most common reason why people can obsess about food constantly is that you are trying to control your food. So if you have lots of food rules and restrictions, or if you are afraid of putting more weight on, or if you constantly count macros or calories in your head, or if you avoid social situations that involve food, there's a high likelihood that you have an unhealthy relationship with control and food, which probably comes as no surprise to you. The thing about trying to control your food is that when you are deep in a food addiction or food obsession or eating disorder, you love the feeling of being in control with food. You might not like the obsession part or the rigidity or the intensity or the tension that you have around your relationship with food, but you love the feeling of being in control. Which is why, in order to end food obsession, it's going to be important to cultivate a way of being that actually overrides the sense of safety and self-satisfaction that comes from trying to control your food, which is something that I'm going to get more into in just a second. So which of these 3 common reasons do you relate to the most? Go ahead and leave a comment below. Okay, now let's talk about what to do to end the food obsession insanity. So again, each one of these things that we're about to talk about is something that I'm going to dive deeper into in the End Your Food Obsession 7-day virtual training. So if you are watching this in real time, you want to join us, I have that link in the description box below. Come and sign up for free. If you're listening to this after January 29th, 2022, no worries. I have some other links in the description box below to support you with your next steps for your path of freedom from food obsession. Okay, so the first key to stopping obsessing about food is to learn how to get out of your head and reconnect in your body. So when I talk about reconnecting in your body, I'm not talking about going out and doing a bunch of exercise. Now, I don't have any problem with exercise. I love exercise, but reconnecting in your body is really about getting present inside of yourself and feeling comfortable in your skin. Now, in the Freedom Embodied Academy, this is a huge part of what we teach. We actually guide women in 7 core embodiment practices to help them to start to get present inside of themselves and feel comfortable in their skin. And in the End Your Food Obsession 7-day training, I'm actually going to be giving an overview of 3 of those practices. But for our purposes here today, I want to support you with a resource that can help you get on your path of starting to get out of your head and reconnect in your body. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below for my Instant Embodiment Reset Guide. It's got 5 really simple practices to help you to get out of your head and start feeling more comfortable in your skin. And this is a great access point for anybody who is wanting to stop obsessing about food and just start to be more present inside of themselves. The second thing that you want to do to get on your path of ending food obsession is to get honest with what's going on for you at a deeper level. So in my experience, this is not something that's like a one and done. This is something that I recommend doing as a daily practice or a nightly practice of checking in with yourself and asking yourself some key questions. A great place to start is considering or even journaling on these questions. Question number 1, where am I mad, sad, or feeling bad? In other words, where is resentment or sadness or self-pity or even guilt or remorse or shame or regret cropping up in my day? Question number 2, am I avoiding anything that needs to be addressed? Now, I find that this comes up a lot with conversations that we're avoiding having. So if you know that that is a tendency of yours to kind of avoid conversations, then you might even directly want to ask yourself at the end of each day, are there any unspoken conversations that need to be had? This will be such a powerful move for your path of ending food obsession. Question number 3 is, what do I need? And I recommend that you journal on this one and you just let the pen or pencil flow, because we spend so much time focusing on what's going on in the world around us or what other people need. This is an incredibly powerful tool to just ask yourself what you need and open yourself up to that. All of these considerations are incredibly powerful, and journaling itself is just very, very powerful and cathartic. And so I highly recommend that you make a regular practice of checking in with yourself, asking yourself these deeper questions, giving yourself an opportunity to address what's actually going on so that you don't just numb out and avoid things or eat over them. Okay, the third thing you want to do to get on your path of ending food obsession is to learn how to unravel the pattern of needing it to be in control. So I will just say that this is not an overnight thing. I personally needed an entire paradigm shift in order to be able to do this because, like I said earlier, when I was in my food addiction and food obsession and eating disorder, I wanted the feeling of being in control. I wanted my food rules. I wanted to have things a certain way. So, it required a huge shift for me. And I'll tell you that what really allowed for me to unravel from that need to be in control was cultivating a deeper level of inner trust and inner power, which is something that I am going to go into more in the 7-day training. And if you know this is a big theme for you and you want to get some support right now, I'm actually going to recommend that you schedule a call with my team and let's hop on a one-on-one call together because this definitely requires a more personalized plan. But let me just say this, is that if you have an unhealthy relationship with control or trying to be in control, then your key is going to be learning how to cultivate a deeper sense of safety and okayness inside, which in my experience is absolutely a spiritual journey, and a spiritual journey that is going to require you to get free from the things that are currently blocking you from that internal experience of okayness inside. So there you have it, 3 reasons why you are most likely obsessing about food constantly and 3 keys to getting on your path of ending food obsession insanity. So if you got some value here today, please do give this video a like so I know to make more videos like this for you. Hit that subscribe button so I can continue to send you relevant resources. I will leave a link for the End Your Food Obsession 7-day virtual training in the description box below, along with links to all the other resources that I shared in today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.